You'll often find that images contain physical damage. This could be in the original subject matter when it was photographed, or damage that is introduced into the image on the actual physical print. Photoshop offers several tools for stamping this damage away. Let's learn how to harness the healing brush as well as the clone stamp tool to remove some physical damage from the subject. Here's how.
We have the Spot Healing Brush tool, which allows you to just simply click and start to heal right away, and the little bit more precise Healing Brush tool. Let's start with that one. This allows you to go ahead and Option or Alt click to set a sample point, and then you can start to brush this in. Now notice that that doesn't look very good, but when we release, it attempts to blend. I'll choose Undo here for a second. The key to really getting this to look good is to come up to the brush menu here and soften that brush. A nice soft brush will do a much nicer job. Let's go ahead and Option click to set our sample point, and now we'll paint that in and let go. And you see that did a nice job. Let's go ahead and click, Option click, put a little bit more in here. Good. And I'm just using that to remove the blemish. Take this here. There we go. I did a nice job. Let's use the navigator. We'll move around a little bit down to here. Option click to set the sample point. There we go. And let it blend. Sometimes it's necessary to sample from a few places, so let's sample from up here. Paint that in a little bit. There we go. And that's really done a nice job. Let's get this last one here. Option click, and we'll go over that and let it blend. Again, don't be afraid to do a couple of strokes to really make that natural. Now, that did a nice job, and we got rid of those blemishes. We've got a couple more here. There we go. Those two. Let's try the other tool, the Spot Healing Brush tool. This tool does not allow you to set a sample point, but rather instead relies upon a proximity match to sample pixels that are adjacent to where you're attempting to heal. So if I click and paint over the damaged area, Photoshop is going to reach beyond that initial click to find pixels to utilize. Letting go, and it attempts to blend. And to be honest, it didn't do that well. It got thrown off by the shadow over here. Let's undo. We could try a smaller brush. Let's build that stroke up. There's the first stroke. And again. And again, it really is still being thrown by the shadows because the Spot Healing Brush doesn't give you the ability to really control where the sample point is coming from. So let's go back to the regular Healing Brush tool. Sample, I'll click over here, and paint. And notice, by taking control of where the image samples, the healing is much more believable. Sample from right here, Option click. There we go. And we'll blend that in. And if I zoom back out and look at that image, you'll see we've really done a nice job. Let's fix this little area down here. Hold down the space bar to move around. Grab the Healing Brush tool, sample, paint, Option click to sample, paint that back in. There we go. And by letting go, Photoshop analyzes the pixels and blends them together. Let's zoom out. And there you have it. The damage in that flower has been repaired pretty easily with the Healing Brush tool. I'm going to close that and not save. And here we're going to fix a similar problem. A close cousin of the Healing Brush is the Patch tool. And if we look at this beach, it's an okay photo, But there's some trash on the beach that I'd like to get rid of. Let's zoom in here in the navigator, and we'll move over to the trash area. Looks like we have a cup and someone's sandals. With the patch tool, you can draw a selection and make a rough selection of the problem area. Then choose one important option up in the options bar. I've made my initial selection, and now I need to choose that I want to patch the source. Let's uncheck the transparent box, and now we can click and drag up here to a good area of the texture, and when I let go, notice how Photoshop blended the patched material over the original selection. Let's select that cup over here, and we'll do the same thing. Drag over and say patch from here, and it fixes it. There we go, little blemish, patch from here. And there you have it. The patch tool really is that simple. Now I've got a little more trash, and I wanted to point out one more thing. You can use any tool to make a selection. So if I've used the marquee tool, for example, I could then switch back to the patch tool, and let's grab that, drag to a good area, and release. And you see the patch tool in action. It has sampled adjacent pixels and blended those objects back out. Zoom all the way out, and we're done. Looks like I got rid of all the trash on the beach. That's the patch tool, which behaves using similar technology that you'll find in the healing brush tools.